You sit down to study. 2 hours pass. You feel productive. Then, the next day, it's gone. Let me ask you something uncomfortable. If I tested you right now on what you studied last week, how much would you actually remember? Be honest, because most students don't realize this until it's too late. You're forgetting up to 80% of what you study within 24 hours. Not because you're lazy, not because you're dumb, but because the way you're studying is designed to fail. And Chinese students figured this out a long time ago. Stay with me, because in a few minutes, I'll show you the exact fix. And once you see it, you'll never study the same way again. I used to be the classic, hardworking but stuck student, highlighting everything, rereading notes, watching long study with me videos at 2x speed. It felt productive, but my grades didn't move. I'd blank during tests, forget content mid-sentence, feel that panic where your brain just shuts off. And the worst part? The guilt. That voice saying, "You studied for hours. Why don't you remember anything?" Here's the brutal truth no one tells you. Most study methods create familiarity, not memory. You recognize the words. You nod along. Your brain feels comfortable, but comfort is the enemy of retention. Now, here's the cliffhanger. Chinese students don't study longer. They study in a way that makes forgetting almost impossible. Let me explain. There's something called the forgetting curve. Basically, your brain starts deleting information immediately after learning it. If you don't interrupt that process, your brain goes, "Cool, not important, delete." Most students try to fight this by doing more hours, more notes, more caffeine. Chinese students do the opposite. They assume forgetting will happen, and they build systems that attack forgetting directly. Here's the first shift that changes everything. They don't ask, "Did I study?" They ask, "Can I recall it?" This sounds small. It's not. After studying a topic, instead of rereading, they close everything and ask, "Can I explain this without looking?" If the answer is no, the brain gets a clear signal. This matters. Keep it. This is called active recall, and it's uncomfortable. Your brain resists it, which is exactly why it works. Think about it like the gym. Lifting light weights feels easy, but it doesn't build muscle. Struggling to remember is the mental equivalent of lifting heavy. Here's the micro step you can try tonight. Study for 25 minutes. Close your book. Write down everything you remember. Messy, incomplete, wrong. Then check. That gap you feel, that tension, that's memory forming. And wait, because this gets better. Chinese students don't stop there. They understand something most students ignore. Memory loves timing. Cramming feels intense, but it fades fast. Instead, they use spaced repetition. Same material, multiple days, short sessions. Day 1, learn it. Day 2, recall it for 5 minutes. Day 4, recall again. Day 7, quick check. Each time you pull the memory back, it gets stronger, like resaving a file before it deletes itself. This is why some students seem to barely study before exams. They already did the work days ago, just smarter. If you're a procrastinator, this part matters. Spaced repetition actually reduces stress because you're never relearning from zero. Now, here's the twist most people miss. Chinese students don't aim to understand perfectly. They aim to explain simply. If you can't explain something in basic language, you don't know it yet.
So after studying, they'll do something powerful. Teach it out loud, to a wall, to an imaginary class, to a friend who didn't ask. This forces clarity. It exposes gaps instantly. Creators struggle with this too. You watch tutorials, you save productivity videos, but when it's time to execute, you freeze. Same problem, passive input, no output. Here's your next micro challenge. After studying, record a 60-second voice note explaining the topic like you're teaching a 12-year-old. If you ramble, pause, or panic, good. That's the signal to fix it. But we're not done yet. Here's something that might shock you. Chinese students track their mistakes, not their wins, their mistakes. Every wrong answer goes into a simple error log. What I thought, why it was wrong, what's correct. This turns failure into fuel. Most students avoid mistakes because they hurt the ego. Top students chase them because mistakes are memory gold. Your brain remembers pain, especially the pain of being wrong. So instead of feeling dumb after a bad quiz, they treat it like a map of what to fix. If you've ever burned out, this part matters because burnout doesn't come from hard work. It comes from working hard without progress. progress. This system creates progress you can feel. And now, the most important mindset shift of all. Chinese students don't rely on motivation. They rely on identity. They don't say, I need motivation to study. They say, this is what I do. Studying becomes automatic. Low emotion, low resistance. They use short, repeatable routines. Same desk, same time, same starting ritual. Your brain loves patterns. Patterns reduce friction. That's why creators who post daily don't feel inspired every day. They just start.
So here's your final, simple, realistic, and powerful. Study for 25 minutes, recall for 5, explain out loud, log mistakes, revisit tomorrow for 5 minutes. That's it. No fancy apps, no aesthetic notes, no fake productivity, just memory that sticks. If you've been feeling behind, if you've been working hard but not seeing results, it's not you. You were just using a broken method. Tonight, try just one thing from this video. Close your notes. Test yourself. Feel the struggle. That struggle is growth. And if you want to stop forgetting, stop studying like everyone else. Let's level up together.